Bardown Beauties with Jesse Pierce and Kirsten Kroll. Two hockey minds trapped in bodies that can't skate. They may have never laced them up, but they'll break it all down with sharp takes and plenty of laughs. This is Hockey Talk, the Beauties way.
Hello, happy Monday. For those of you that are working, congrats. For those that are not working today, congrats. Either way, stay warm out there. Kirsten, so freaking cold. Jesse,
yeah.
Kirsten here. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. Yeah, it's freezing. I don't even think my garbage man picked up my trash this morning. I saw him grab the can, kind of shake it, and set it back down. Like, I caught him right as he was like driving by. Like, my bins were out there right as he was there.
Yeah.
But, like, I was like, did you take my trash or did you not? Like, that's not on me at that point, right? Like, you literally it with your little grabber thingy, and it says recycling on the side, so like you know which can is which. So I'm like, why would you do that?
And I don't think you get to pick and choose. Like, you don't get to be like, I'm just not going to do this one. Like, we've gotten out there before too, because it comes early, and it's like, oh shoot, we forgot to put it out the night before, so we'll like run and get them, and usually they're pretty good. He
literally was pulling on my street.
Yeah.
So I was like, dude, I'm annoyed.
That's fair.
Sorry, I'm trying to be more smiley for the people that said I didn't want to be here last week.
I know you want to be here every week. We always want to be here for you guys every single time. It's Hockey Day Minnesota week, because remember, Hockey Day Minnesota has expanded beyond just Hockey Day into the full week. Mm-hmm. That's no shade at Hastings. They're not the first ones to do it. It seems to be kind of the trending theme, but it is going to be another cold one. I think it's like minus 22 on Saturday. That sound right?
Well, I will be there Friday.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'll make an appearance Saturday, but I'll for sure be there Friday because I'm working the Iowa Wild Outdoor Classic.
Love.
And yeah, it's supposed to be like negative 24. So pray for me.
To be fair, I feel like anytime, and I've told this to people who get like, there's the shock and awe factor, like, oh my gosh, that's so cold. Like, it looks cold, but it's all cold below zero. Like, I don't feel any colder when it's -9 compared to -20 compared to -30, as long as the wind's not whipping around, which again is such a Minnesota thing to say. But like,
not even with the wind, it would still be bad. So
you're right. I'm playing hockey.
Rare exceptions, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
just cool.
No, fair.
Everything hurts.
I'm excited for that Iowa game though. They're like really doing that up. I'm pretty pumped for them.
Yeah, I'm excited too. It should be really fun. I've never worked anything like that before. I don't even know what I'm doing really, if I'm being quite honest. I just got asked like, hey, work this game. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. I'm in. I didn't ask any other details. So
like a normal person does, like, sure, you're going to pay me. Perfect. I'm in. Lock it
exactly.
in.
So I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't even know what I'm getting paid. I just said yes.
Did you work a hockey day though once upon a time back in your career at St. Cloud, or was that like the indoor, you were working like St. Cloud Husky game?
So yes, I never got to like be outdoor. I got to work 3 Hockey Day Minnesota broadcasts for St. Cloud ringside. Nice. So I was on what was then Fox Sports North, like reporting for St. Cloud, but they never got to play outdoor. Even the one year that Hockey Day was in St. Cloud. Fun fact, Hockey Day was literally across the street from my house in college. Didn't get to go outside and work it, but I did get to stop by and like experience it a little in person. So
the only ones I haven't made it up to are like the northern ones, unfortunately, which I would love. Like, I'd love for it to go to International Falls because it would be easy for me to stay with my mom and like hang out up there and hit up family. But I've done most of the cities ones, not in a varying working capacity, is also just part of it to take it in. You know, me and my hockey FOMO. Like, I love to see it. Love to be out there. Love me some hockey. Absolutely. It's crazy. It's like the 20th year this year, I think, too. Because I believe it started in 2006, which would have been my senior year. Is it the 20th year? That's what I saw somewhere. We're going to just confirm before I guess.
I feel like they would be doing it up big if it was the 20th Hockey Day.
That's what I thought.
We know how Minnesota is about their anniversaries.
We love our anniversaries here. We certainly love. All right, let's see. Hockey Day Minnesota.
I'm also trying to be very careful with my coffee mug because it is very inappropriate wording on it.
Oh, we're a year. What is? Well, now we need to know. Now we need to share.
Well, I will make it PG. It says I'm a ray of effing sunshine. So I'm trying to be.
That should be like your new podcast mug, maybe. Like, so when anybody does come,
clearly because everyone thinks I'm grumpy all the time, and I'm not.
To be clear,
Let's clear the air for a second here. If there's any Monday for me to be crabby, it's this Monday. Like it is today. For those, well, no one knows because I didn't tell anybody besides like my immediate circle. I got into a car accident Friday night, so I am okay. I am dealing with insurance now. I just had my first insurance phone call today, so I'm very stressed. I'm stressed about how I'm going to get to work this week. I'm stressed about how I'm going to get to games this week. So all this to be said, if there is anyone who owns a car dealership out there who wants to, maybe like exchange anything to like help a girl out right now, that'd be great because I have places to be.
Places to be, things to do. No, I feel for you. I'm back in my 4th rental of the year. So fifth rental of the year. I hate it. I'm not a fan of Buicks. I think it's a Buick Escape. Not great. Not a fan. Not on roads like this.
Yeah. Don't drive when it's snowing and blowing snow. The black ice this weekend was crazy. Even
yesterday. Yeah, yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday, but even Saturday morning when I was driving my car that doesn't have a front to it right now, when I was driving it Saturday morning home, like, oh my gosh, the amount of people I saw spun out in like accidents. It was crazy.
Yeah. And so that's even in your Jeep. Like I feel safe and secure in my Jeep. And so I haven't had my Jeep since last week. And this like new one, I can't stand. Like there's no traction. I'm just spinning. Like I have to go so slow, which is fine. I don't mind going slow, aside from the fact I'm generally running late, which creates a whole bunch of problems. But that being said, be safe out there. It's going to be cold. I will be at Hockey Day Wednesday. There's a celebrity game. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm excited. It's going to be, so I've taken a peek at the roster. I don't want to spoil anything because I'll let them have the big announcement, but you guys are going to want to be there. There are some names that you are going to all love and recognize. A couple blasts from the past, but most of them are fairly recent retirees or players or guys that maybe we haven't seen in a minute. I'm very excited. They're all my age, which I have mixed feelings about. Because, it's like the old guys are coming in to play a little pond hockey.
This is Jesse's way, once again, one time per episode, trying to call herself old. So there it is.
Well, it's not trying anymore. It's just known fact, Kirsten.
And if you don't want to bear the cold, come hang out at the Frost game that night.
Well, they play Wednesday too? Or when? Oh, they just play Wednesday. Okay.
They play Wednesday. They have 3 games at home in this next week and a half, 2 weeks before the Olympic break. I need to fill out my calendar. I don't know. There's 3 more games this month for the Frost. There's 4 more games for the Wild this month. At least I'll have money to pay for my car.
We're finding the positives in all of it. It's incredible. Lots of hockey then happening. Hockey Day again Saturday, it's running all week. So go check that out in Hastings. I'm getting an echo. Did you hear that echo for a moment? No, it's gone. I was there for a minute.
I don't know what I'm hearing. I don't know what I'm doing.
Minnesota Wild. We want to talk about Minnesota Wild. You guys, if you stuck with us for this first 10 minutes, let's talk Minnesota Wild hockey. And it's injury time. Minnesota on the road, an improbable win in Buffalo, which I knew was going to happen because this is what the Minnesota Wild do. Like they play poorly and then they go into a red hot team like the Buffalo Sabres, which is still weird to say out loud. Like, oh, you better look out for the Sabres, but you should. They're playing incredible hockey right now. They go in there without Kirsten Matt Boldy. They go in there without Jonas Brodin. They go out in there without Jules Eriksson, without Zach Bogosian, and without Marcus Johansson. So your entire second line has exploded. Part of your top 4 D pairings, Jonas Brodin and Zach Bogosian, who'd been playing well prior to his injury. Not to mention these injuries, at least as it concerned Brodin, Ek and Bogosian. Those were supposed to be day-to-day, but they have been day-to-day for about 2 weeks at this point. Mm-hmm. So what do? They go in and win. And now they have Toronto tonight, back-to-back, and then they're in Montreal tomorrow. Who of those guys I mentioned, Kirsten, Boldy, Broads, Ek, Bogo, Johansson, who are you going to miss the most in these next few games? Brodin is week to week. Boldy, I don't believe is anything serious. I think he's more considered day-to-day. Bogosian and Ek remain day-to-day, and Johansson, I don't know if I saw an update on his ailment, but who are you going to miss the most of those players?
I mean, I'm going to miss all of them for very different reasons. So I guess I wouldn't necessarily know who I miss the most. I would say, obviously, initial impact. I want to say I'm going to miss Matt Boldy the most because he was on a heater. But if his injury is less concerning, I think, and we've already because it was a minimum of 4 games he needed to miss, and he missed
That's right,
one
because
now.
Yep, he was put on injured reserve.
Yep. So he missed the one against Buffalo. So there's 3 more, at least for him, unless it gets extended or pushed or whatnot. Hopefully not. So immediate, just because of the season he has been having, I want to say Matt Boldy, but I think the Wild can sustain for the 3 more games they have to play if that's all without him. Otherwise, obviously, Joel Eriksson. He does a lot of intangibles for this team that other players just can't do. Yeah. That's always my answer is Joel Eriksson. But Quinn Hughes, as amazing as he is, he can't do everything. So even, I don't know, here's my thing. The last, well, no, this isn't like anything with Quinn Hughes. That's not where I'm going with this.
I'm waiting for the Brodeen mention because you're going to miss Broads too.
Well, now I'm getting into the defense. So yes, that is that's the direction we're heading. Recency bias. The last Wild game I was able to watch was the last home game that we had when Jesper was at net. I don't know if Jesper was just, I struck because again, I was working. I get to watch the game, but I don't get to watch like the key details and breakdowns of the game. So that's the hard part.
Yeah.
Jesper didn't look great. 5 goals on 20 shots before the third period when he ultimately got pulled. But I couldn't decipher, was Jesper just really that bad or was the defense kind of crumbling in front of him? Mm-hmm. So that made me really miss Brodeen, Bogo. Our defense needs to get it back together. Because again, Quinn Hughes, he's a difference maker, but he can't do everything. He can't be on the ice all 60 minutes every single game.
And he's just a very good offensive defenseman. Like there were a couple turnovers in those 2 losses at home at the end that were a direct result of a Quinn Hughes turnover, which again happens. I'm not taking anything away from him. Ecker is somebody that I was already missing, right? Like I know we've discussed, and we're going to get into more trade rumors because we got a ton of cues to get to, so we won't even tiptoe into that until we get there. But before I had said, Kirsten, that I'd be okay with maybe going with a good scoring winger. Like that would make me happy for Billy Guerin to go acquire a scoring winger at trade deadline. Now without Joel Eriksson, I'm reminded how desperate you need a center. So I have just forget the scoring winger. Sure, add them if you want, but I need a center. I need somebody to be there to help Joel Eriksson, to be that true, as close as we can get to 1C to get through the playoffs, because that's what you're going to need to beat the Dallas Stars or, whomever you may be, but it looks like it'll be the Dallas Stars. I'm going to miss Matt Boldy though, because we have been so good since August, maybe even before August, that this is Boldy's season to hit 50. Dude's missing 4 games. That's going to put him out of that pace that he was on. I mean, he could certainly pop off in a few, but
not drastically. 4 games. Like he's also not getting the score sheet every single game anyways. Like 4 games, I don't think it's going to derail him.
I want 50 for him. It's his year. It's the year.
It's still been his year, even if he doesn't hit 50.
You know what? You're not wrong.
But I still think there's a chance for it. 4 games isn't going to completely. I think there's been games this season where he's gone 2-3 straight games without a goal. Like
he has. No, it's been a minute. He didn't look particularly great in those 2 losses either, right? Like he was also held off the goal sheet for the most part, and maybe that was because of this injury, which John Hines had reported is a nagging situation. So rest up. Sounds like he will be back for the Olympics as well as Joel Eriksson. Mm-hmm. Another topic I want to get into. But Kirsten, with these guys out for the TBD time, at least for the rest of this road trip tonight and tomorrow, who needs to step up and why is it number 97? Because I would like to break down some stats for 97. We love Kirill. Where you signed him to the big extension, you give him the big money. He's going to be actually making close to like 19 mil starting next year with the way the salary cap's broken out and with the extension. But in January, Kirsten, he's only got 2 goals, 6 assists, and 8 games played. He was scoreless in 3 straight, 26 shots through those 8 games, and he was shotless versus the Winnipeg Jets. Now, Kaprizov is still tied for 7th in the league with 25 goals. But how have you been feeling about 97's play? I've always played kind of the hockey mom. Like, he does the things away from the puck. He does the right things here, there. He works hard. That's all true. But at the same dividends, you want to get paid like the McDavids, the McKinnons. You want to get paid more than them. You want to be the superstar. Those guys lift their teams on their back every single night. And some nights I just don't know that Kirill necessarily is in those positions, at least not production-wise.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that has always been again, love Kirill. The team is better with Kirill than without him. That's not what I'm saying, but that's always been my biggest criticism about Kirill. And I feel like I've gotten like, I wasn't going to use the analogy I was going to use because I couldn't remember how to word it correctly. But just like, I had the mob coming after me because I was like, he's not in Austin Matthews or Connor McDavid. I was like, he's not. Like, I was like, he's a star, but I was like, I don't think he's a superstar yet. And like, people just came for me for that. And I was like, no, that is the difference because you see those guys. There's just more consistency there with the McDavids, the Austin Matthews. Granted, they all have their moments too. These guys aren't superhumans, even though sometimes it looks like they are. But Kirill has been a little more streaky this season.
Yeah, it's not that he's not willing, and I know what a competitor he is, right? We all know, again, how good of a player he is, how much he elevates everyone around him. So it's not that there's a concern or like, oh no, what happened to Kirill? I just need to see that next level from him. Like I need him to be more selfish. And that's something I think we've talked about with his entire career. I love hockey because it is such a team sport and I love that Kirill plays it that way. But dude, go out there and pot 3 goals because you can. Go out there and score every single night because you can. We don't need to spread the wealth. We don't need to show patience sometimes. Like just go out there and take the game by the balls and win it, right? Like I just think that's the level. Like a little bit of that aggression almost. Like he sometimes is too passive's maybe not the right word, but it seems kind of like he's just good as it is, but like I need that pit bull once in a while, that bite.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I would agree.
So maybe do it
I don't know. It seems like I think it's safe to say at this very moment in time, it's a little bit of a slump for Mr. 97 that he's in. I think that's fair to say. And I'm just hoping whatever it is that is holding him back, he's able to overcome very soon.
Right. And slump has such a negative connotation, but it's not. Like it's
every single player goes through slumps.
Right.
Like we saw with Matt Boldy, I believe, what was it, last season?
Yeah, that was like a 13-game slump.
It wasn't great.
Well, we need a worse word for that one. But
yeah.
Figure it out. I'm sure he will get back on the horse. Speaking of slumps, then, Kirsten, the one thing I did want to talk about, because I heard a lot of this last week. Again, when the Wild were in their little downhill spiral a little bit, I was fine until that New Jersey game and until that Winnipeg game, because those 2 games, they just didn't show up. There was no compete. There was no attention to detail. They were undisciplined. They were just bad, poorly played games by the Minnesota Wild. So those 2 games, I didn't want to necessarily just brush off and be like, oh, it's fine. However, I had a lot of people counter me with a very good point about, well, yeah, they already know they're playing the Dallas Stars in the playoffs because of the way the points are going to shake out, which is probably a 98% truth factor because you're still so far ahead of the Nashville Predators and the Utah Mammoth at this point in the division. Like that's where it's going to shake out. Whether you get home ice or not, that could easily be flip-flop. But Dallas is probably going to be your first round opponent, which whole other conversation to how much that kind of sucks.
I would rather play Dallas in Colorado.
Either way, again, it goes, it's the tale as old as time is how this formatting is ridiculous because you're going to go through Dallas and then you're going to go through Colorado. Like those are 3 of your, not anymore because Minnesota has since fallen out of grace and now they're 6th in the league, which is fine. But at one point in time for an extended period of time, those are the top 3 teams in the league and they're going to have to face each other right away.
Let's just fall into the wild card spot. I'm content with that. I'm content with the bubble team again.
Right? Like your positioning would be pretty good. I'd face anybody in the Pacific right now because they're not that threatening at this point. But that being said, Kirsten, like, is it okay to just kind of, I'm not saying mail it in, but just be like, put it in neutral for a little bit because you know your opponent, you know where you're going, like at least to the Olympic break, right? Like, would you be content with that? Because that was the argument people made to me is, well, like, what does it matter if they're winning these games or not? I'm like, well, to me, it matters because I like to see wins, stack them up. I don't need to see like meh on it, but I can understand
what I'm going to say is I never want to work a game where the energy is as low as it was when we played Winnipeg at home last. That made my job so difficult. I can't blame the fans for being mad, but the team got booed off the ice at 2 different points in that game, and everyone left at like the start of the 3rd period.
Yeah,
that makes being an entertainment host, very hard.
Yeah, I just don't enjoy watching bad hockey in any respect. Like, it's just kind of
So
hard. It's
I think,
frustrating.
therefore, that is my answer. No.
Well, and the frustrating point in those games, it's like, I know you're better. Like, I know you're so much better than this. Like, I don't believe that this is the team that you guys are. Sometimes it does it, and it made me wonder, knowing the Buffalo Sabres game, because again, I was like, this is going to shake out exactly how we think it is. They are going to go in and win because they don't have any business doing so without these guys. Part of me wonders like that if they like being the underdog a little bit, right? Like they love when people are telling them like, you're not going to be able to do it. And then they do kind of turn it up, at least for these guys that step up. I mean, Marcus Foligno, Tarasenko getting goals, like, okay, sure, that makes sense. Like, I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if that they love that positioning a little bit better. It's certainly it's easier, right? If not meaner.
It's a tale as old as time.
Yeah.
That's wild hockey, baby.
That's
Play their best hockey when their backs are against the wall.
Every time. It's crazy. I mean, I love it. I'm here for it a little bit, but it's also very odd. Like, why don't we just be good and stay good? Right? Maybe.
It's simple.
Speaking of good, you guys, I do want to give a shout out to my friends at North American Banking Company. I have recently switched over to North American Banking Company, and I love it. They made the transition from my old bank to them so seamless. They've got online banking apps. You can go into any of their 6 Twin Cities locations, though, and speak to a live representative, which for me is great. I love getting that face-to-face contact. And again, they made switching it zero hassle, which is so fun. I know sometimes people get concerned that it's going to be a problem. It's not. Go ahead, switch over to North American Banking Company. Go to nabankco.com. That's nabankco.com to learn more or visit a location near you. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. And Kirsten, with all that money that I'm putting away at North American Banking Company, sometimes I want to take it out. I want to spend it. Do you have any idea of where I could spend such things?
I have got a few ideas. Do they do auto loans too?
I mean, maybe we could probably go buy cars. That would be nice. But I was thinking like Hockey Lodge or like Soda Stick. Maybe we could spend it there.
That would be great. Yeah. Woo. Sorry. I'm stressed about my car. That's all.
But you can spend it at sodastick.com. You just wasn't picking up the tracks I was laying at all.
Down. It's a Monday. We know how I am on Mondays.
Spend your money at sodastick.com. Use code Bardown Beauties at checkout for 15% off. Don't forget, they are at the Hockey Lodge. They're also over at Pure Hockey. Tons of great stuff. Plus, they do custom jerseys, hats, whatever you may need. We love our friends out at Soda Stick, so be sure to give them some love back. Plus, all your favorite tees. That tee that Kirill wears was a Soda Stick designation. I'm sure they would be happy to replace it for him.
But that just shows the quality and the longevity of Soda Stick.
It's so true. Exactly. Like, it's been
good materials.
It was probably Kirill's first year, I think, right? If I recall. And it is funny because didn't we just talk about that last week on our podcast about his shirt? And we were comparing it to like Kachuk or Crosby's. I thought maybe
I don't think it was me.
I had this discussion, so it's
You're
funny.
Thinking of your other co-host.
Definitely my secret side chick, my secret side host. We love that. And also, while we're spending money, go spend some money at Bricks and Minifigs in Roseville. You guys, my kids love Legos, which I have a love-hate relationship with, but they love Bricks and Minifigs out in Roseville, and they are getting ready to celebrate their big anniversary. But even prior to that, it's just a perfect place to get pre-built sets. You can sell, you can trade. They have all of the things that you need at Bricks and Minifigs in Roseville. It's pretty incredible, whether you're hunting for that perfect piece or you're ready to trade up your collection. Plus, they have full sets too. So all of my Lego heads, if you will, I'm not sure if that's what we call them, but our builders, definitely check it out. Again, my kids love it. We celebrated my oldest birthday there, in fact, and then they do monthly kid builds, and they also have adult builds as well. So be sure to check them out in Roseville. Use code SCORE10 to get 10% off all of your used sets when you are out there. We love it. Those are our plugs for this week. Thank you guys for bearing with us. Let's get into some cues, Kirsten. A ton of really good ones. I want to start with a very general one, and I'm very excited to answer this one because I'm very excited for this particular fan who reached out. From Morgan Ramsey, she said, "What should I do to prepare for my first wild game? I'm going alone," which I love for her. I love this for her journey.
I do too. I love doing things by myself.
That's what I actually told her that. I said, Kirsten goes to concerts alone sometimes too, and she thinks it's the greatest thing because she was this fan, Morgan, again, shout out. She was like, I'm a little nervous. I'd never thought, but I've wanted to do it. And she's just getting into hockey too. So I'm like, what a perfect thing to do. I'm happy for her.
I like it also sometimes too, like going places by myself because it forces you out of your comfort zone and like it forces you to like meet people and like talk to people. I don't know. Like I went to Carrie Underwood by myself because no one was going to buy VIP tickets. None of my friends like her the way that I do. And I made friends and it was, I had a really great night. Obviously you need to hit up the local spots. Like these aren't even like plugs. These are just places I love to go. Like Tom Reed's, you need to go. Like if you're a hockey fan, you need to go to Tom Reed's. Even Eagle Street. I've loved the Eagle Street since they reopened right across the street from the X. Like the food, amazing. They've got such good food there. So you need to hit up those two spots.
And Zamboni's. I'm a fan of Zamboni's too.
Yeah.
Right across. Yeah. They're pretty good.
Yeah. And yeah. Those are my number one recommendations. I don't know. I don't.
Or Casetas. If you're just looking for like more of a grab and, the classic Italian vibe would be Casetas, I think.
I don't know. When I think of Casetas, I think of it with state hockey. Like that's the must do.
Yeah, I could see that. I feel like and it's a good family spot, I guess, if you're bringing your kids and stuff like that. Like that seems not that any of those other places are bad, but depending on what your vibe is. It can be a little chaotic at Casetas sometimes for me too, a little overwhelming.
That's true.
Overstimulated.
Otherwise, outside of that, I don't really know what else to do on a game day because I'm not able to partake in game days.
I mean, they do have the early happy hour, right? And there's some really cool food creations throughout the concourse area and up to club level, depending on where you're sitting. Just embrace it all. Get to know your fans, your fellow fans. The games have been near sellouts almost every time, if not actual sellouts, which is really fun to be a part of. Again, make a sign. I know those over by your booth, Kirsten, right? They can make some signs. She can do that up, I think.
What are the section numbers in this arena?
123, I think.
Well, right? I'm at 123.
You're at
123. It's 2 sections over. So I don't know which way it goes. I want to say it's section 121.
Yeah, I think that's
section 121 or it might be 124. I don't know.
And you can go over
numbers go
opposite side, which yes, I don't know number if it's going down. It's like probably, I don't know. Over across from 123 on the direct opposite side is where you can get your first game certificate too, which is always kind of fun.
I think that's section 113.
Is that 113? Okay. Have you said that plug before in game?
Yes, when people have come up and asked.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's directly across.
The light lounge looks pretty sick. Never been there for a game, but it looks really cool.
They've got wings and you can take your orders to go too, which is kind of nice. Like if you want to, like they have more like restaurant style food, you can take it to go. So that's where I got my peanut butter and jelly wings, which they don't have anymore, which breaks my little heart. But yeah, have fun, Morgan. Super excited. Excuse me, for you on that. So I have a whole package of questions here, Kirsten, so we can just discuss in general about this because this is another hot topic of this week, and maybe we'll kind of wrap it up from there. Gman5531 wants to know what your thoughts are on the Chris Drury and the letter, which if you guys missed it, Chris Drury sent out a letter to fans saying the New York Rangers are basically going to have to fix everything, and they're kind of.
But it's not a rebuild; it's a retool.
It's a retool, which it's the second letter in like how many years? Like, why are we doing this? This seems odd. To go along with that, so we can talk about the letter, Kirsten, but obviously a ton of trade questions. And Ben Jones Lover wants to know what's the most you would give up for Trocheck. Jeremy K wants to know, lots of people talking about acquiring Trocheck from the Rangers. What would it take to get him? Or is there anyone else on the Rangers you would rather have Bill Guerin go after? Now, again, for background, Vincent Trocheck rumored by Puck Empire earlier this week that the Minnesota Wild are very interested in him. He is a center. He's obviously on Team USA under Bill Guerin. With the Rangers moving on from all their players, Panarin's also a guy that's tossed out there. Mike Russo did counter saying they haven't made any offer yet. And Russo said that that's a conversation that likely will be had again with Billy's affiliation. More background.
Vincent, follow up. I think Russo also said there was interest.
I think there, yes,
but exactly. They just had not reached out.
Right. And I believe the rumored interest from Puck Empire was like, you're going to have to give up Yurov and Stramel and all this. And so that kind of scared everybody. And Mike was like, no, let's slow down on that. Like nothing has been discussed that far. Now, that being said, here's the background on Vincent Trocheck, Kirsten. 32 years old, centerman, 11 goals, 18 assists. His average faceoff win, which is the key reason that you want him, 54.1%. That's average throughout the course of his career. He did get as high as 58.7 in 23-24 and 59.3 in 24-25. And he's at 55.6%. He's, here's how bad the Rangers are. He's minus 16 this year, though, however, as well. At 32, a centerman who can win draws. Are you willing to part with a lot of assets in order to get him for the season? And I believe he still has a couple more years, 3 more years on his contract, which I think is at a salary cap hit of like 5.8.
So I'm going to backtrack a bit first because you brought up the GM's letters.
The letter.
I love the letters. We've seen 2 within the span of 1 week from the New York Rangers and the Ottawa Senators. The Ottawa Senators being seemingly very incredibly unhinged. I believe it was their owner that sent out the letter and made PR tweet it out, but just calling like some of the fans trolls and just so unhinged. And I love it. And honestly, I personally believe we need more of that. Like, please let general managers and especially the owners release some very unhinged open letters to the fans via their public relations teams. So I'm all here for it. I love it. And then now moving on to Trocheck. I'm not willing to sell the farm for him. Like if part of the deal in order to get him is to give up Yurov, the answer is no for me.
Yeah.
Stramel, sure. I could maybe see a way with that. But like at this rate, we also, and I think I addressed this earlier too, we don't have really anything to offer anymore. Like, especially I think that goes to show now as well. And somebody had mentioned this online, so I can't necessarily take this thought as my very own, but I agree with it. That's why now we also see the Juracek deal hurt as much as it does because he hasn't panned out the way Minnesota has hoped. And we gave up so much draft capital for him. And so now that makes that deal look really bad.
Yeah.
And then we gave up a lot of assets for Quinn Hughes. I do agree with that, even though it hurt. Like we've seen the return for getting Quinn Hughes, but we really don't have much left to offer. And you're going to need to see the Minnesota Wild do a complete rebuild, I would say, if we don't have any assets. And then, I don't know. This isn't necessarily a complete thought, but we're not going to have a future if we give away all of our assets.
Right. It's such a it is a hard thing to navigate. That's why I don't get paid the big bucks to figure that out. To me, draft picks and prospects, I don't care as much about, but I know I should, right? Like I know I should. I recognize that. I don't because they're just so hard to measure. When you're drafting a kid at 18, again, this is not the NFL. This is not the NBA. You're not seeing him next year. You're not seeing, unless he's that generational talent that comes along very rarely. In the Minnesota Wild never draft high enough anyway. So even that 2027 first round pick, the way the Wild are trending, isn't going to be a high pick anyway. So I'm not attached to that. I'm not attached to the no name. I'm not attached to that. And the prospects, I don't get overly attached to too. Sure, does it suck when you see somebody go and succeed and you're like, oh, we had Alex Tuck. Oh, we had, like these different varying players. But it's such kind of a crapshoot sometimes at how it's all going to pan out and how you're going to utilize him in this Minnesota Wild system. Now, Charlie Stramel is having a really great year. And for me, what do I see in that? I see value. So I would say trade a Charlie Stramel then. Like he's one of your prospects that's looking really, really good. Why not? Because I will remind you all, I have the receipts. A year ago, you all hated the kid. Like nobody wanted anything to do with him. So again, that's how volatile it can be for these young players and their development. And if you don't have the patience or don't have the time to wait it out. Now that being said,
to follow up a little bit too on Stramel, like Nightingale is an incredible coach.
100%.
I think him transferring to Michigan State was the difference maker for him. But also the collegiate game is very different than the professional game. So the transfer from collegiate level to NHL does not always pan out the way that you would hope.
I mean, there's so many examples of that too, right? And Minnesota-based examples that you could think of as well. Um, so yeah, I mean, I use the value. You know me, I love a good valued player, and if you can get somebody like Trocheck, I also don't hate 32 and at 3 years at 5.8. Like I'm okay with all of that. I think. Um, I'll be curious to see. It's another player that I haven't admittedly watched a whole lot. So it's someone I would pay attention to at the Olympics. I would not make that trade pre-Olympics. I would make the trade after the Olympics because there is that Olympic freeze that goes in as far as player movement for a couple weeks and then it reopens. So technically it creates 2 trade deadlines, which is kind of exciting and kind of fun, as you saw in Calgary yesterday with Rasmus Anderson getting shipped off and ending his time there in exchange for Zach Whitecloud in Vegas. All that being said, kick the tires. Absolutely. Find a center. Do you like Mika Zibanejad at all, Kirsten? I know he was a name that fluttered around earlier this season for Minnesota. He's another 32-year-old center. He has 21 goals, 25 assists in 48 games played, but less successful at the dot, averages just 49.9, and he's at a 51.7 face-off win percentage this year.
So the older I have gotten, the more comfortable I have become with saying I'm not familiar or I don't know. And that is a player I'm not very familiar with. So therefore I cannot give a good opinion on that. But with the face-off struggles Minnesota's having, I say if you're going to go, you need to address that area.
Trocheck would be better. And if you want to look at that, I mean, JT Miller is another Ranger that has been. I don't want JT Miller. I don't. Well,
there
like
was the drama circulating
exactly
that he was a locker room cancer in Vancouver. Whether that be true or not, I don't know, but I don't think.
You know who would know?
Quinn Hughes.
Maybe talk to Quinn Hughes about that. Because, I mean, again, JT Miller on the Olympic team as well for Bill Guerin. So Bill Guerin is familiar with his play. He's a big, strong guy. He's a veteran. He's got experience. So he is a guy that I can see Bill Guerin liking without question. But I didn't care for all, like, you can't get along with your teammate. Like, I don't like that. Like, I don't want that in my locker room. Then we've been there, done that with some players. Like, I don't need to readdress that. So, but yes, the Rangers, I mean, it's a smart idea. And Bill Guerin and Chris Drury have to have their own relationship back from their playing days. They're both Americans. They've got everything going on. However, Chris Drury can jack up the prices because now he's laid out his cards and he's like, who wants it? Come pilfer me. But it's going to cost you because I'm retooling now as well. So those are kind of the names. I know there continues to be other trade rumors. We can address more of that next week because it's still going on. Same with the Olympics. The one thing I did want to, before we get into buy or sell, Kirsten, do you prevent Boldy and or Eriksson Ek from playing in the Olympics if you can? That question comes to us from Buckley Brent. Now, given that they're both hurt right now, again, knowing Boldy's was a nagging injury, Eriksson Ek was more of a fluke injury, but he still hasn't returned. He's missed, 4 or 5 games now at this point. Do you prevent them from doing that?
I think Boldy's going to be fine.
Mm-hmm.
And with Ek, I feel like he's built different. So, like, yes, he has had his fair share of injuries. And this isn't going to sound very fair. It's going to come off harsh, but I don't mean it to be harsh. Like, all hockey players are tough, but he just has an extra toughness about him to where I'm like, I think he'll be fine. Now, on the other hand, Jonas Brodin, there's no way you let him go. There's no way he can go play in the Olympics.
No.
That man is held together with, like, paper mache. Like, I don't know. Like, it's not, he can't, there's no way he can go.
It's irresponsible. And I have to imagine from Broads' standpoint too, like, I think he would probably even feel guilty asking at this point, right? Like, hey, I know I'm hurt again. Do you think I could? Like, we all understand how special that is. I get that. And I know what that honor means. And I love that. I love that these guys are so eager to represent their country. And I know, especially at this Olympics, when it's a best on best. I know that was weird. Best on best. You so desperately want to be a part of that because it's cool too, right? Like, it's cool. But no, you can't. You're valuable here. They are paying you to play hockey for the Minnesota Wild. They are not paying you to play for Sweden. So I think you can't. I don't care when you return, I just no. I think it'd be funny too, because there's also the not controversy, but Bill wants to win for Team USA, and you're gonna win. You're gonna have a better chance if you have Matt Boldy on that roster, right?
I mean, absolutely, but also too, and granted, I don't know, but I just don't feel as though Boldy's injury is that serious.
It just popped up so out of the blue. And again, if it's something that's been bothering him, sure, but I don't remember noticing anything off about his game in any sense, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Just hopefully it's not like Bo Nix. He was fine until he wasn't.
He wasn't just breaking ankles. Rough go for Bo.
As long as it's not that, I think we're okay.
I feel worse for Josh Allen, but that's all right. Poor guy. It was his year. It's a shame. Let's quick jump into let's do 2 buy or sells. So the first buy or sell, Kirsten, Danila Yurov is off the trade table completely. Buy or sell the idea?
Sell, and I don't like that I have to say that.
Okay. All right.
Going back to my earlier conversation. So that is all.
Part of me, I'm going to buy it. I think because you got rid of Marco Rossi, that was your first bean in the Yurov pot. And I think Yurov has performed really, really well. Although it's funny because I believe I've also said Zibuyan was off the table, and look at where that got us. So you're probably right, Kirsten, but I'm going to go with the buy just because I think that they are going to try to keep him at all costs if they can. But his value's up, so I can see the interest being there. And again, as you mentioned, with the limited prospects, then maybe not. One more trade one. Buy or sell the idea. The Wild should be willing to trade a fan favorite player if it raises the playoff ceiling. I know fans hate when they trade fan favorite players, but I'm thinking
it's just the business,
right? So buy it.
Yeah.
Like, would you? I know it won't happen, and I'm not suggesting it should, but like a Marcus Foligno.
I thought you were gonna say a Kirill Kaprizov.
I mean, he's a fan favorite, but also like a team favorite, right?
Well, he's the face of the franchise.
He's probably not going to get rid of him. No. All right. So this is another one then. Buy or sell. Quinn Hughes is the biggest name to wear a Wild sweater. Do you think Quinn Hughes is a bigger superstar than Kirill Kaprizov?
That one is tricky because I think league wide, yes.
Yeah.
But in Minnesota, I don't know. We've painted Kirill as the face, but I think partially that's because Kirill's locked down here for 8 years, whereas Quinn's future is up in the air here as of after next season. So it's tough to say. I don't know. I mean, league wide, yes, I'm buying that.
But everyone knew Quinn, right? Like, I don't know. I mean, people, I think, recognize how good Kirill Kaprizov is.
Yes.
But I've also have coaches come in and they mispronounce his name, right? Like, because you're not hearing it as frequently as you're hearing Quinn Hughes. And granted, Quinn Hughes has won the 2 major roles. Kirill was your rookie of the year, which is great. But Quinn is a two-time Norris champion.
I think just one time, but
he was a finalist.
Finalist multiple times.
Right. Like, so I'd agree with that. Like, I think league-wide, Quinn Hughes is the superstar. Statewide.
But I think Minnesota refrains from advertising him necessarily as the face just because uncertain future after next year.
Fair.
But if he resigns here, then that would probably change.
We love it. As always, we won't change. We'll be back again next week. We got more Beauts.
Hopefully my mood does.
I think you were a effing ray of sunshine today.
We'll wait for the comments later to tell me otherwise, and you. So.
No, I think you were just fine. We'll get your car problems. It'll be all better. Everything is going to be happy go lucky. I'm going to go freeze my butt off outside. I'm done with bikini previews. You guys have ruined that for me in my entire life. So thank you for those who didn't. Just kidding. Shout out to North American Banking Company. Shout out to Soda Stick. And shout out to Bricks and Minifigs. As always, we will catch you next week. Don't forget to check out all of our other Score North content. That's going to do it. Bye. Near.